everyone, and welcome to our today's session. My name is Alina. I'm an Education USA advisor for Education USA Regional, and I'm so happy to welcome you today with us. Education USA Regional, as you might know, is a program that helps our students, the students from the region in Eastern Europe and Central Asia, to apply for their undergraduate or graduate studies. So in case if you are researching, in case if you are thinking to apply for your studies in the US, our team of advisors will be super happy to help you in this process. And if you know, Education USA Regional is doing monthly webinars. So if you'll go on our website, you will see already all the events that we have planned for August. And I promise those are going to be super interesting because we're going to have 2 successful student stories. And also we'll have one webinar with the representative of SAT. So we're going to discuss a lot about the changes that SAT has done. And also we're going to discuss about the test optional policy. And we have invited an institution that is going to talk for the undergraduate students and also for the graduate students. And actually one of the speakers for that session is going to join us also today. So yes, please welcome Lindsay Hodge and Jennifer Hunter from Rice University. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us today. I'm just going to give you the floor to introduce yourself, and then we can just go on with the presentation.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much. My name is Jennifer Hunter. I am the Assistant Dean in the Office of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies here at Rice University, and really honored to be here with Lindsay Hodge, who is our Director of Professional Science Master's Programs. And we do have an introductory slide where we're going to share our contact information with you as well. So make sure that you have your phones or your computer mice ready so you can take a screenshot of that information for later. Oh, perfect. All right, let's go ahead and launch in. And Alina, are you the one that's sharing slides right now? Should I have you, or is that still me?
No, that's you, so you can just change the slides.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, well, thank you again. We are really going to be focused on navigating professional and applied master's programs in the United States today. And we're going to talk about the U.S. higher education landscape specifically for international students that are looking at these professional degree tracks. And in this presentation, we're going to cover everything from understanding how applied master's degrees differ from traditional, maybe research degrees, navigating visa regulations, maximizing your post-graduation work authorization like OPT or PDAT or STEM extensions, and then exploring top-tier universities like Rice University, that's here in Houston, Texas, and we'll be telling you a little bit about our programs as well. So please feel free to think about what questions you might have, and we will have a Q&A session at the end of this session. All right, so going on to our next slide, as I mentioned, I'm Jennifer Hunter. I'm Assistant Dean in the Office of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies here at Rice, and I really focus on graduate student recruitment and visibility for programs that we offer to prospective graduate students. I also work with Fulbright at Rice, so if you're thinking about how am I going to get funding for graduate school, Fulbright is an exceptional program that is going to help you on your application in a lot of ways and also give you funding for graduate education. So if you've not thought about Fulbright yet, I encourage you to do so. Look for your country, what the requirements are, and think about applying to that grant. And I also work with our grad ambassadors program. So if you're interested in maybe a specific program, you're not sure who to reach out to, let me know and we can get you connected with specific students in that program from our ambassadors program. And I'm going to turn it over to Lindsay to introduce herself. Lindsay, I think you're muted, or at least I can't hear you.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Jennifer. My name is Lindsay Hodge. As Jennifer mentioned, I direct our professional science master's programs at Rice University. I work directly at the intersection of industry and academia, ensuring our curricula bridges advanced natural sciences and data analytics with real-world business management and industry workforce demand.
And I did want to give one more plug to Education USA. So, of course, Lindsay and I, we are really happy to answer questions. You should take our email addresses down and reach out to us at any time if you have questions. Whether you're watching this webinar live or maybe you're watching it 6 months from now on YouTube, trust us, we still want to hear from you. But you should also work with Education USA because they're an incredible organization that helps you get connected with opportunities to meet professionals in different universities, experts on different topics topic. So really encourage you to make sure that you stay connected to them and use the resources that they offer. All right, I'm going to move to the next slide. And Lindsay, I think this might be you.
Yes. So here is our roadmap for today's session. We have broken the presentation into two main parts. So part one provides a broader U.S. higher education overview. We'll define what an applied professional master's degree is, examine critical F1 visa requirements, and then contrast candidate profiles, explain OPT and STEM work authorization, and discuss financial planning and admission strategies. So for part two, we dive directly into programs offerings at Rice University. We'll explore professional master's degree tracks across natural sciences, engineering, social sciences, business, architecture, and music, and we'll conclude with a step-by-step application timeline and then a live Q&A. All right, so let's start by looking at what professional and applied master's degrees actually are. The primary mandate of these programs is simple: bridging academia and industry. While traditional research master's degrees are designed to train future PhD candidates and academic researchers, applied programs are designed from the ground up for students whose immediate goal is entering or advancing in the corporate, industrial, or public sectors upon graduation. Jennifer, I believe this is you.
Talk about these specific degrees and what makes them unique. There's 4 core features that I want to mention. So first, you'll see common degree titles. You'll see things like Master of Science, Master of Engineering, Master of Professional Studies. And so you'll really want to think about the kind of degree that you want to pursue when you're trying to figure out what exactly you want. Second is applied curriculum. Instead of months maybe writing a thesis or doing years of research work as part of a PhD, this is really about getting you practical skills that are going to advance you immediately. So engaging in practical capstone projects. Maybe you're doing a real life consulting project with a real client for your project. Studio labs or mandatory internships. These are all going to be part of that experience that gets you ready for the workforce for the next step beyond what it is that you're doing for academics. And third, you're going to have a lot of faculty that are experts in their field, that have lived this, kind of a career path that you want. Courses are going to be generally taught by research professors or faculty who are, have experience with the C-suite, our industry practitioners and our consultants. So really important to know that you're going to have a robust and diverse set of faculty that are going to be leading you through the programs. And then fourth, these timelines for these programs are very accelerated. In a lot of programs, you could finish them in as early as a year. Sometimes they are as early as 10 months, and sometimes they take as long as 2 years. It just depends on the program, but this allows you to enter the global workforce with less opportunity costs. So you're not wasting time, doing other things while trying to get this degree. So how do you get here? So we want to talk about visas just a little bit. So as international students, if you're applying to the US, you must ensure that any program you apply to is F1 eligible. You must be in a full-time degree-seeking program delivered on campus. So you can't do some of these programs online necessarily, but completing the F1 degree qualifies you for 12 to 36 months of US work authorization, which is great. And I'm going to go ahead and skip to the next slide. Okay, is this me? No, this is Lindsay.
All right, to help you choose the right path, let's compare traditional research degrees against applied professional master's degree. So a research master's or a thesis MS focuses on original research, methodology, and theoretical frameworks. Now, it typically takes about 2 years. It culminates in a published thesis and often offers funding through teaching or research assistantships. Now, this is ideal if you want a PhD. Then the applied professional master's degree or a non-thesis master's degree focuses on industry relevant skills, tools, leadership, and hands-on application. It takes around 10 to 18 months, culminates in a capstone or internship, and is typically self-funded or supported by merit scholarships. Now, this is ideal if you want direct entry into industry roles. So, why are international students increasingly choosing applied programs? Well, the first is accelerated career growth. You gain high demand, specialized technical skills tailored to market needs, meaning you can pivot or step into senior roles faster. The second is industry networking. So, curricula are designed in partnership with corporate advisory boards, which gives you direct access to industry mentors, guest speakers, and campus recruiters. And then finally, work ready skills. You just don't learn theory, you learn industry tools like Python, SQL, CAD, or financial modeling, project management, and cross functional team leadership. One of the most important aspects for prospective international students is graduation work authorization in the United States. So, all F1 graduates from accredited degree programs are eligible for 12 months of standard optional practical training, or OPT. If your degree is officially designated as a STEM program, which is science, technology, engineering, or math, you qualify for a 24-month STEM OPT extension, which gives you a total of 36 months or 3 years to work in the US without needing an employer-sponsored visa. So this 3-year window provides multiple attempts at the annual H-1B lottery while gaining invaluable work experience. Now let's talk about finances and admissions criteria. So your applied master's programs are usually tuition based and rarely offer full TA or RA tuition waivers. However, a lot of programs offer partial merit scholarships. And because these programs are accelerated, often 12 to 18 months, you spend significantly less on living costs and enter high paying roles much faster. Um, let's talk about admission standards. So, admissions committees look for a solid undergraduate academic background. They like to see a 3.0 or higher on a 4.0 scale. They look at quantitative readiness, a compelling career narrative in your statement of purpose, and strong letters of recommendation. A good mix of academic professors and professional supervisors are recommended.
All right. Remember to unmute myself. That's always I always do that once a webinar. I'm like, oh no. So the U.S. application package. What does that look like? So a complete U.S. application package has a few different components. You're going to see kind of standard across the board for any program you might be applying to. They're always going to want to see your academic transcript. So you do not have to have your bachelor's, or if you're pursuing a master's, you do not need those degrees completed to apply. You can be in the final months or final year of that program and go ahead and apply to the programs that you're interested in here in the United States. But we do want to see your transcripts up until the point that you apply. And those might be official transcripts that are required, but for Rice University, we only need the unofficial transcripts as part of the application process. We're looking for your statement of purpose or some collection of essays. And each program might be a little bit different. Some programs might give you specific prompts to follow. And if they do that, then you should definitely follow those to the letter. But generally, we want to know through your essays, this is your opportunity to tell your professional story. This is your opportunity to talk to an admissions committee to talk about why this degree is essential to your career, why this university is a good fit for you, and why you are a good fit for this particular program at this university. So use all the space on the application to your advantage. There are some times where you might think, well, this question doesn't really apply to me as an international student, and you might think that you're going to leave something blank. Don't leave anything blank on the application. If you think it doesn't apply to you, use all of that available space to tell your story and speak to the admissions committee. Letters of recommendation, we want to see hear from 2 to 3 people that know you well, that can speak to your academic potential in graduate school. And really, we would love to see a mix of academic professors or supervisors, people that know you well at a high level that can speak to your potential, as I said. These shouldn't be people like friends or colleagues that you work with. It should be people like a mentor or a manager or an advisor or a professor. Again, people that can speak to your potential. Resume or CV, these are a little bit different. Usually if you're asked for a CV, it's for more of a research track degree. Some professional programs would want to see these as well. But generally, this is going to give your background, either academic or professional or a mix, to the admissions committee to learn more about you. It's going to need to emphasize any internships that you might have had, hands-on projects, research or leadership, or other technical proficiencies that you would want to see talked about with your graduate application. And then any test scores would probably be either recommended or required. And as Alina mentioned, there's a webinar coming up in August about that as well. But generally, you're going to be required to do English proficiency testing. At Rice, that's TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo. There are other tests out there, and you just need to make sure that whichever one you take, it's accepted at the universities that you want to apply to. If you've gotten a degree in English, if it was conferred in English, you might be eligible for a waiver. Students from certain countries may be eligible for a waiver to the language proficiency requirements, but really good to check those things before you apply, and plan early. If you you're probably going to need to take this test, plan early for it, because it does take some time for those scores to get to the universities that you're interested in. For things like GRE or GMAT, they might be required. So for example, at Rice University, a lot of our programs are test optional. However, for the School of Business, if you're thinking about getting an MBA, you will need to submit GRE or GMAT scores, and you can choose which of those tests you want to submit, but you will need to submit some scores. So think about that also. Each program, each university is going to be different and have different requirements on the tests that they're going to strongly suggest, require, and you'll want to make sure that you're familiar with all of those things when you're starting your application. Okay, so how do you stand out? Sometimes you might feel like, oh, this is very competitive and I'm not really sure how to make my application stand out. Use all of the pieces of the application, as I mentioned before, and use it to tell a coherent story that threads its way through your application. So you're going to want to describe your short-term goals and your long-term goals. What are you going to do while you're pursuing this degree, and why is this so essential for you to do? And then after you graduate, what is it that you hope to do with this degree, and how is it going to propel you forward? So show how the curriculum fills your gaps that you might want to fill for your career success later. Highlight your practical experience. So like we mentioned, you want to talk about any internships that you've had, any class projects that you've had, or professional projects that you are proud of that you want to tell the admissions committee about, technical tools that you're familiar with, and then any team-based achievements that you want to share. So really make sure that all of the components of the application are telling the same story. And it's not just you telling that story, right? Because your recommenders are a huge part of your application. So you'll really want to make sure that you choose people that know you well, that can speak to who you are as an academic, as a person, and can tell about your history and why you would be a good fit for this program. You'll really want to talk to them before you have them submit their recommendation letters. Talk to your recommenders about what it is that you hope to do. Remind them of the things that you have done that you're very proud of, so that they can write a strong letter with that in their memory. They'll want to keep in mind that graduate admissions committees value anecdotes about maybe your analytical skills, how adaptable you are, how good you are at working with teams, and your work ethic. You really want these letters to be specific and fit in with the story that your other application materials have told. Okay. So standardized and language tests. These are the ranges for Rice University. Other universities may be a little bit different. Generally, most US universities will accept TOEFL and IELTS. Some will accept Duolingo or Pearson or other similar tests. But really, like we said, pay attention to what the university is requiring. Pay attention to those minimum score requirements, because for the English proficiency, those can be hard cutoffs. So check if you do qualify for an English waiver as well, and that's if your bachelor's or your master's was taught entirely in English. For the GRE or GMAT, we talked about this. The requirements vary wildly. And so we talked about a little bit about Rice University. Each program makes their own determination on if they're going to strongly suggest, waive the testing requirements for the GRE or GMAT. Many professional master's programs at Rice and at other institutions are test optional, or maybe they offer waivers based on really good, strong undergraduate experience. So you should always ask those questions. The worst they can say is no, and it won't count against you, but it's good to ask so that you're prepared for what's next and for the application specifics. And let's see. Is this me? This is Lindsay.
All right, so let's transition to part 2, and we'll focus on Rice University, located in Houston, Texas, and we'll explore the specialized professional programs that we offer there. So Rice University, if you did not know, is routinely ranked among the top 15 national universities in the United States. We offer a unique combination of elite academics and an intimate learning environment with a 6-to-1 student faculty ratio. So we really have a small student to faculty ratio. And we're also located in Houston, Texas. Our campus sits directly across the street from the Texas Medical Center, which is the largest medical center in the world. And we're minutes from major global industry hubs in energy, aerospace, data tech, and finance. It is important to note that we do not offer professional degrees in law, dentistry, or medicine. This allows us to concentrate resources heavily on our core STEM, business, social sciences, architecture, and music graduate programs. At Rice University, our professional master's degree programs are designed for students who want to deepen their scientific expertise while gaining the professional skills that employers value most. So like I mentioned before, unlike traditional research-based master's degree, the professional science master's combines rigorous STEM education with business, leadership, and communication training, along with a required internship that provides valuable real-world and hands-on experience. This unique approach prepares graduates for successful careers across different sectors like science, engineering, technology, and other innovative industries. So on the screen, you can see that we offer 6 industry-focused master's degree programs. Each is designed to meet critical workforce needs. A lot of these programs, we actually have a board of affiliates that are currently in industry, and they help build out our curriculum. 5 of our programs, the Applied Chemical Sciences, Bioscience and Health Policy, Energy Geoscience, Environmental Analysis, and Space Studies, these 5 programs can be completed in as little as 3 semesters or approximately 16 months. Our newest program, the Master of Energy Transition and Sustainability, it's actually housed in both natural sciences and engineering, and it can be completed in just 2 semesters or 1 year, and it culminates in a hands-on capstone project. An additional advantage for international students is that all 6 programs are STEM designated, making graduates eligible for up to 36 months STEM OPT work authorization in the United States.
I will say also, just to add on to this, so many of these programs that you see on your screen are so essential for our countries, right? Environmental analysis and making sure that we have safe and clean waterways, for example, making sure that our health policies are strong and care for the people in our country. So really encourage you to check in with Lindsay if you might be interested in any of these programs. We have a few other colleges, schools at Rice University that I'll go through as well that you might be interested in. We also offer professional master's degrees in social sciences, so human-computer interaction and human factors, and that really focuses on user experience, working with the machines around us, which in this age of AI is becoming increasingly more important, right? So we really want to kind of focus on cognitive ergonomics and product usability there. Master of Energy Economics is a great program that trains commodity analysts, and energy strategists. So if you're interested at all in that, if that's important to you and maybe important to your country and the direction it's going in, definitely check out that program as well. Industrial Organizational Psychology really is a degree that combines talent analysis and organizational behavior. The Global Affairs program at Rice is world class, and it works closely with the Baker Institute for Public Policy, which is a think tank here on Rice University's campus. It's a fantastic program and a fantastic center to work with in furthering your knowledge about global affairs, international relations, all of those things. And then we have a couple other programs in this school as well. Computational economics, which is really quantitative, kind of thinking about economics broadly. And then our social policy evaluation is really for folks that are interested in how we can affect change with the policies that we have in government. So really important to consider these if you're thinking about those degree tracks. Engineering probably offers the most programs on our campus. So if you're interested at all in computer science, data science, and civil engineering, I think materials science also super important for our future of the planet. And so really consider what you might want to do here. Don't get too focused on a program name. If you think, gosh, I really wanted, this specific type of engineering, think about the academics and what you're going to gain from a degree program that might have a similar name, but might not be exactly what you're thinking that you might want. Think about broadly what might fit for you best for your career path in terms of instead of getting too tied to a degree program name. Most of the programs that you see on your screen for engineering can be completed in 1 to 1.5 years, and they really have a lot of hands-on project work, software engineering, and engagement with corporate partners. As Lindsay mentioned, they have a board of affiliates that's really going to get you connected with industry. So you'll want to look for programs that will help you do those things and get connected and network with people. I did want to call out here that we have a brand new program in engineering that is a Master's of Digital Health. And so if you're interested in health-related fields, that would be a great thing to check out as well. If you are more interested in business, we do have a full-time MBA that has a STEM designated pathway for that OPT extension. We also offer a Master of Accounting or a Master of Finance, which are really intensive one-year programs that focus on really specific things like corporate finance and investment management. And so we'll have links to all these I'll have links to all these hopefully in the chat a little bit later. Rice's Architecture and Music Masters. If you're thinking maybe I want to go into, I've done an architecture undergraduate and I want to get a master's degree, we do have a professional degree with design studios, engineering integration, and we do have programs that you can study abroad with as well. So if you're coming here to the United States for a degree in architecture, you could spend some time in Paris and do corporate internship placements there. The Shepherd School of Music is a renowned premier conservatory program, and it's really designed for elite performers who are looking to go on to international stage careers. All right, I'm going to turn this over to Lindsay. Oh, and I was not progressing my slides. I'm so sorry. We're going to make sure that you have the slides as well. Okay, Lindsay, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Alrighty, so why does location matter so much for a professional master's degree? We already talked about Rice University and how it ranks nationally, but let's focus on Houston. Houston is the 4th largest city in the United States, and it's one of the most influential economic centers. It's known as the energy capital of the world. It's also home to leading global energy and clean energy companies. There are more than 28 Fortune 500 headquarters located in Houston. The Texas Medical Center, which is located right across the street from Rice University, is the largest medical center in the world. Right down the street from us is NASA's Johnson Space Center, which is home of mission control. So studying at Rice really gives you direct local access to corporate networking, summer internships and jobs, capstone sponsors, and prospective post-OPT employers. So let's summarize what we talked about earlier. So this is what our admissions committees prioritize. So the first is a clear career purpose. It's best if you articulate exactly why you need this degree and how it fits into your immediate job targets. The next is demonstrate solid foundational knowledge in quantitative, scientific, or discipline-specific subjects. Um, and then the third is, you know, the admissions committees would like to see a global and collaborative mindset. So highlight your ability to work in diverse cross-cultural teams on your application. And then they also like to see soft skills and leadership skills. So professional maturity, adaptability, and communication skills are key evaluated factors in your application. So be sure to hit on all of these.
All right. Last but not least, what is the roadmap? So right now is a great time to start your research for all of these programs that you're interested in. Most students that I talk to say, I'm going to start with a big spreadsheet and put all of my data points in it that are important to me. So make sure you do your research. Go to these Education USA events, talk to as many people as possible to get good perspectives on what it is that you want to study, and start figuring out, okay, where do I want to apply and what does that look like for me? Now is also a great time to take those English proficiency tests or your GRE or GMAT if you need to do that. Check in with Education USA to see if there are materials that they can give you to help you prepare for those things, and take advantage of any of those resources. Do your tests early if you can. And the reason for that is because sometimes it takes time for scores to get to the universities that you're interested in. Sometimes it takes time to find your scores and match them with your application. So really important to do these things early so that none of your application materials are waiting. You want to make sure everything is ready to go and top of the pile for anyone who's going to be reviewing your application. Go ahead and apply as soon as you're ready. The early bird gets the worm, as we say in the United States. And so you'll want to apply early to take advantage of making sure that if the admissions committee is ready to go, maybe you'll get an earlier offer, which can help you decide where you want to go and what your plans are going to be for the next couple of years. And then once you get your admission, you'll hopefully go ahead and start to enroll, do that visa process, which can take some time. So always really important to do things early, because so many things have long time delays attached to them. I'm going to go ahead and do one more screen for you, which is our QR code, our reach out screen. If you have questions, you're of course welcome to reach out to Lindsay or myself. You have our email addresses, but this QR code will connect you directly to our programs and make sure that you're getting routed to the right people that can answer your questions. So please do scan this, fill in your information so that we can connect with you further. Reach out to us via email if you have any other questions, and we're happy to take questions right now as well.
Great. Thank you so much, ladies, for the presentation. I really like that you covered a lot of things, not only talking about professional and applied programs, but also about the application, about the tests, about a lot of stuff which are super important to the students who are researching now their chances of applying for their postgraduate degree. Okay, so during the presentation we got a lot of questions here, so I'm gonna just put them on the screen and you choose who will answer what. So the first question is, what is capstone project exactly? Could you bring an example?
Yeah, Lindsay, do you want to field this one or do you want me to take it?
Can you take it if you don't mind?
Sure, yeah. So for some programs, you'll have kind of an end project for your degree. It's not a thesis, right? You're not doing some in-depth research or something like that, but it might be something like for an MBA student, okay, here's a corporate client that the institution's working with. Here's a real life thing that they want you to do, whether that's a case study or implementing some kind of tool that you've learned about in your academics. So for capstone projects, it's really a chance for you to think about everything that you've learned during the duration of the degree program. And then at the end of the degree program, you are bringing all of that together in a real life, real world scenario. So the business example is just one project. If you're in engineering, for example, you might be working with an engineering client to focus on some real world application of maybe medical device technology or water desalination efforts, something like that, something that brings all of the skills that you've learned through your academic career through that degree, and then realizing it in a really tangible way that gives you some really great experience that you can put on a resume and take with you. So I hope that helps explain what these things are.
Yes, thank you. The next question: how could the type of recommender's affiliation affect an admission decision?
Yeah, and Lindsay, feel free to chime in on this, but I'll go ahead and start us off. So, we are looking for recommenders that not only know you well, but are connected to the things that you've done in some way. So, Jennifer Hunter, I got a degree at Florida State University. And if one of my recommenders is a professor from Florida State University that knows me, that's a really strong affiliation. If it's somebody that has a company in common with you that you have worked with as well, that's also a really strong affiliation. We want to know that these are people that are connected to your story in some way that can speak to you really well. And so when you're thinking about your recommenders, if you've got a friend that has a great job in another company, that's wonderful, but they're not going to be in a position to evaluate you without bias in a way that will speak to an admissions committee. So you really want people that have a connection to you, that is a connection that will import to the admissions committee some kind of prestige or mentorship or academic somebody that can really speak to who you are as a person in an unbiased way.
Great, thank you so much. The next question, I have a master's degree of University of Missouri into 2017. Do I have a chance in English requirements waiving?
You have a chance, yes. And so each university is going to have their own requirements on how they handle this. But if you have a degree from an institution where that degree was conferred in English, all of the requirements were met in English, then you would just need to let your program of admission know this. And usually for us, if you have a bachelor's, if you have a 4-year degree that's conferred in English, that's great. You typically get a waiver. For master's degrees, I think we do grant some waivers as well. You always need to ask though to make sure what those requirements are.
Thank you. And a continuation of that question about recommenders. How about all my recommenders belong to the same university which I work in?
That's okay. For things like research programs, we always want to see at least one recommender from the institution that you've gone to, one professor. If you're applying to a professional degree, if you're an undergraduate and that's the experience that you've had thus far, that's great. You seem to like you've got a lot of recommenders, and they are all willing to speak for you. And it doesn't really matter if they're from the same university or not. We just want to see people that know you well, will write a strong letter for you, can speak well to what you will do in graduate school. That's a great question.
Thank you. The next question, how can AI usage affect badly in applicant opportunity? I think that's a very popular one.
This is such a hot topic these days, right? Because so many of us use AI now. I certainly use it in my day-to-day work, but what we really want to be careful of in an application is the AI is not going to know you well enough to write a strong anything for you, whether that's an essay or something like that. We want to hear from you who you are. And it can be really obvious when people are using AI in an essay, and people will, admissions reviewers, Lindsay, you can speak to this. I'm sure you see this when you're reading applications. You can see this and you think, oh no, like this is not who this person is. I'm not learning anything unique about this person because a robot wrote this. So you really want to make sure that for all of your admissions materials, certainly we all want help with editing, right? We might use tools like Grammarly to help with our spelling or our grammar, but you should be the writer of your essays. You should be the author of all of these things, and should not really be having AI weigh in on, you don't want the robot to control your career or your academic direction. You should be the author of those things. Lindsay, did I miss anything? Things that you've seen?
Well, I would just like to say, be sure you read your application materials through and through. So, in a personal statement, I've seen different individuals use AI and forget to add the program name. So they'll submit a statement of purpose with brackets that says insert program name here. So be sure you really read through the materials that you submit, because like Jennifer said, a lot of these are so obvious to us. So we really want to know you. We want to know who you are, and your voice matters. So using AI, that can kind of take away from it.
Okay, and a question related again to AI from the same person. Does the university use Turnitin to check AI usage?
So a lot of universities will use different tools to check for this. Each program at Rice University evaluates applications on their own. I couldn't speak to the tools that each individual a department uses, but just be really aware that we are looking for these things and we really want to hear from you about you and not from a robot about you.
Okay, thank you. Is it right all PhD programs support their students by fund? In another way, all PhD admitted students have full coverage funds.
So,
In your case.
for a lot of universities in the United States, yes. So, PhD programs are research degrees that take 4 to 6 years to complete. You typically do not pay tuition for those, and you will receive some kind of stipend that supports the work that you're doing. And the reason is you are doing work for the university as a researcher. You are going to be doing research work that progresses the university. So you are technically paid in some way to be a student and to do this research work. Um, for programs like a doctorate, that can be a little bit different. So we kind of tend to use these words interchangeably, PhD and doctorate. If you obtain a PhD, you are a doctor, but some doctorate programs are tuition based. So if it's a research program, generally you're not going to be paying tuition, and you will be supported in some way by the institution. Yes.
Thank you. The next question: is there a program to women in engineering which can be a great opportunity to get admitted for women? Do you have such as at Rice?
We don't have specific routes of admission for specific groups of people. So all candidates are evaluated equally. We always use holistic review in our applications to make sure that we're applying each credential, each a piece of the application credential. We want to make sure that we evaluate you all equally. When you are admitted to the university, there are groups for women in engineering. We have a chapter of the Society for Women Engineers, and that's a great opportunity to get involved with fellow females in engineering, for example. So there are programs out there once you are admitted that are affinity groups or cultural groups that will be great for you to connect with. But in terms of the admissions process, we tend to we go for a holistic admissions where everyone is evaluated the same way.
Thank you. And one of the last questions I have here: what should I do if I send emails for some professors but I didn't receive any reply? Would you please give me some suggestion?
Yeah, and Lindsay can chime in on this as well, but for professional programs, generally, you do not need to reach out to faculty members. So if you're applying to master's programs or applied master's programs or professional programs, those are typically going to be cohort-based admissions. So you don't need to worry as much about making contact with faculty members. What would be good is to make contact with program directors like Lindsay, who do have a lot of insights into the application process and can give you more information. So really encourage you to think about those things as well. If you're going more to a research program, it might be important. If you've not received a reply, that's okay. The goal for you in a research program is just to get your name out there. So, but really encourage you for professional and applied programs. Talk to the program directors like Lindsay. Talk to maybe your program staff that can help you the most.
I would also like to say, don't be scared to follow up with the professor. Email them again, said just circling back, just wanted to check in. Because sometimes professors might open an email and then a student comes into their office and they completely forget to reply. So that's just my advice too.
Thank you. We have two more questions here. Would you please mention some mistakes that many students do in writing emails to a professor, which I have to avoid? And I think Lindsay just gave an example on how to reach back or follow up. But what about the mistakes that the students are doing?
I would say, like Lindsay had mentioned earlier, if you're copying and pasting a template for a lot of faculty members and it's not personalized, that can really be a mistake. So like she mentioned earlier, you always want to make sure that you tailor the message to the professor that you're writing to instead of copy and pasting the same generic message to professors. You want to do your research about the things that they are passionate about. Flattery often goes a long way with faculty members, so you want to keep that in mind as well. I loved your research paper. I loved this talk that you did that I saw on YouTube. Those are always great things to do.
Okay, thank you. And one more question, please. I have Doctor of Medical Laboratory Science degree from Ghana. Can I apply for PhD programs? If yes, what major requirements should I need to get before I can apply?
So Idrisu, I think this would require some research on your part. I'm not familiar, like if you've got a like an MD degree and you have done research, then I think it's great for you to apply to PhD programs. But you really would need to do your research on each specific institution on what you might need for their prerequisites or things like that, because every program, every university will be different.
Thank you. One more about the application. In the application portal, I have to select some professor that I'm interested to work with. How to mention them without connecting them before, I suppose that was the question.
Oh yeah. So just to tie this back into, I think what Ibrahim asked earlier. So if you're applying for a research degree, sometimes you will be asked which professors that you want to work with, and you can certainly say that in the application if you've got to check a box next to somebody's name. The other piece of this that you'll want to keep in mind is in your statement of purpose, you'll want to work in those faculty members as well, and talk about, hey, if I'm accepted to Rice University, I would love to work with Dr. X because of this reason, Dr. Y because of this reason, and Dr. Z because of this reason. There are many students who apply to research programs every year who really would like to connect with faculty who don't get that opportunity for whatever reason, and they still apply and are successful. So it's always good if you can make this connection with a faculty member that you're interested in, but don't be discouraged if you can't. And so for research programs, there are two models of admission. A lot of research programs in the United States are also cohort based. And that means that you don't need to have that faculty connection in advance, but it could be helpful. And then the ones that are direct admission, you probably do need that connection that's built because you'll need that faculty member to raise their hand and say, yes, admissions committee, if Ibrahim is selected for admission, I will work with them and be their advisor. So you need to ask that question of the program. Is this a direct admission model or is this a cohort admission model? And that's really important to ask. But I'm sure that EdUSA will have research focused webinars as well. So definitely ask those questions there. And our today's experience is going to be really focused on the professional programs.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think we've covered all the questions that we got during the live today. And yes, regarding the research experience and regarding the postgraduate degree, we have a cohort of students who are applying for their master and PhD degree, and they have a lot of webinars and a lot of courses specifically. I mean, focused on different majors. So I think, I mean, at this moment, it's not possible for all the students to apply because this program is still ongoing. But if that is going to be successful and we're going to launch it next year, then for sure you can apply for it. It's GSAP, and you can find more information about this program on our YouTube page because we have a lot of webinars with program coordinator Aynash. Okay, one more question here from Ibrahim. I see that he or she has a lot of questions because I'm confused now. I mean, he was asking about woman in engineering. I'm not confused. Is it a man or a woman? Okay. Does this shows in admission if those how I select they do not need more students for this semester? I'm a bit unsure about the idea of this
Yeah.
question.
Ibrahim,
This
you
was
can
about the professors.
you should email me if you have questions. I'm happy to talk more to you about your specific situation. So we can talk offline.
Yeah, otherwise you can just send in the chat your email, Jennifer, and we can just share it eventually here, and the student can connect you directly. Okay, thank you so much, ladies. I think we are done with all the questions, and I really hope that if those who didn't have the chance to watch us today, they will do it later, and if they will have questions, they can eventually contact us, where they can use your email for additional questions. And I wish you a lot of good students with this new application, and I mean this new cohort of applications that is upcoming now, and a lot of patience to our students who are now in the process of applying. I know that this is a very struggling time for you, and the Education USA advisors, trust me, that are doing their best to help you in that. Thanks once more for the presentation, and thank you once more to those who have watched us today and for your patience. Have a great, great end of the day.
Thank you, Alina. Thank you, Lindsay. Have a good day.